everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Collaboration Space. Want to wish you a good day and kind of introduce our topic. We're hearing a lot about how employers want people back in the office 2 to 3 days a week or more. And employees are saying, wait a minute, I'm really enjoying the flexibility of working remotely. We kind of maintain productivity working remotely, during the pandemic and after, but where is that going now? Are we still maintaining that? But we do think, from what we hear, the hybrid workplace is here to stay. And that leads us to today's discussion with this push-pull between team members and employers. How do we create an inviting workplace that makes people want to return to the office? And joining me today to share her insights with us on that is Kristin Spiewak from Sharp NEC Display Solutions. Hi, Kristin. Thanks for joining me today.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Appreciate you taking the time. So I'm going to jump right in, Kristin, and can you let me know what I've talked about with this return to the office? Are you hearing the same thing from customers?
We are really hearing that a lot from our customers, from our integrator partners. I mean, it's in the media. We read about it every day. Large companies trying to get their employees back to work. And it certainly is a challenge. But I think that companies are finding that, employee engagement might be down a little bit, just that so many people are not in the office on the same day, that productivity in some areas might be declining a little bit. And I think they're also finding that, onboarding and bringing on new people is certainly a challenge in a climate where, some people are in the office, some are not, and really trying to bring and onboard employees can be a little challenged in that space.
Yeah, and we talked about, I mentioned that we want to create this more inviting workplace. So it sounds like a way to do that with it's time to refresh all my display technology. It may not have been in use. I may want to give it a new look, more opportunity for that engagement. What are you hearing on that?
Yeah, we are seeing so many companies really taking the dive and really looking at, okay, what do we have? Is it serving our employees well, or is it a little archaic and it's time for a little bit of a refresh? So we're seeing that across the board. I think, companies are looking closely at their smaller spaces. I think we're kind of moving away from that large, giant boardroom, and we're seeing a little bit more collaboration in smaller meeting spaces, really creating a more intimate type environment for employees to come in and collaborate, work on projects together. So that technology refresh is a hot button. We're seeing a lot of people look at, is their display up to date? Do they have the right audio, video, those types of things? And are we creating a seamless experience for employees rather than frustrating them when they come to the office?
Yeah. How about when an employee and our team members get into the office and we enter into the lobby? How do we create a splash and really get people engaged?
Well, I will say, that is such important real estate. I think our lobby areas in any of our corporate spaces are kind of like our storefront, right? It kind of sets the stage. It kind of tells you what the company is all about, right? What is behind the walls? What kind of environment can you expect from that technology? And if you come into Sharp NEC in the Chicago area in our Downers Grove office, you are greeted with a pretty splashy DV-LED wall. We've got a 21.9 DV-LED wall that will really just wow you. It is high resolution, and it really greets employees, visitors, customers, and really sets the stage for what they can expect from Sharp NEC. And I think honestly that, corporate businesses that are not utilizing that space are really missing out. We're seeing a lot of companies invest in that particular area to really make that wow factor.
Yeah, you mentioned that's some great real estate that not everyone might be taking advantage of. So something to consider.
Right.
And you started talking a little bit about meeting spaces and intimate spaces. Let's talk a little bit more about conference rooms, how we make sure that that's a great experience and how we make that technology easy to use.
Right. And, I think, again, you want to create an experience that it is exciting employees and not frustrating them, right? Why come in if the technology is antiquated in these meeting spaces? So you really want to come in and create an experience where, and everyone's using the terminology meeting equity. It's kind of a hot button right now, but you're creating an experience for your person employees as well as your remote employees. You're creating a similar experience. So do you have the technology in place, whether it be audio, video, but particularly displays? Are those creating that type of experience? And I think at Sharp NEC, you'll find that, in all of our meeting spaces, we've taken the time to make sure that equipment and technology is upgraded, it is efficient, and it's creating great productive sessions for our employees. And I think a lot of employers are looking for that right now. I think they have found that they don't have what they need, and they're making sure that investment in those meeting spaces is really improving engagement among their employees. And I mean, studies show that if employees are engaged and more productive, it's going to go to the bottom line, right? It's going to improve company success. So that's why it's so important.
Not a bad thing to improve our bottom line. So when we talk about conference rooms, you made me think of a question, because we know these meetings are going to be hybrid. So I'm going to need to show the video, everyone. I'm going to probably need to show the chat, and I may even be sharing content. Might need more real estate on my display. Are you finding that people are kind of upgrading the size of displays in some of the conference rooms?
We are, yes. The real estate as well as the quality. Right. So they're making sure that it's high resolution, really crisp imagery. If they happen to be working on spreadsheets, if they're working on, small, intricate projects or, algorithms or those types of things, if they want to annotate on a screen, they are certainly making sure that those spaces are large. They also want to make it seamless. Again, we talked about that. People need to be able to walk into a conference room or collaboration space. And I think we've all had that issue where we can't hear our remote employee talking. We can't see the content that they're sharing. And we really need to make that a seamless experience. One solution that Sharp offers is Synapse Go, which is a tremendous meeting solution. You can run off a mobile device or a laptop, and it's really a one-stop shop. Push a button, launch your meeting, share content, and end your meeting so quickly and seamlessly. It's been a tremendous solution. Works great with our displays. And companies are finding, again, we need to create this seamless experience so that our employees want to be back at the office and they're having a great experience doing it.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of functionality in Synapse. So I am going to go ahead, for our listeners, I am going to go ahead and put a link in the show notes for you to a webcast that we did about meeting equity that talks a little bit more about that Synapse solution. So thanks for bringing that up. So, Kristin, let's talk about some other meeting spaces. You mentioned more intimate spaces, but there are also some more flexible spaces too that we want to outfit, possibly with displays. We talk or digital signage. We talk about lunchrooms, lounges, other common ones. Thoughts on that?
Right. Yeah. We have displays everywhere in our company, and I think companies are realizing they need to inform, educate, and entertain with displays. Right, those are tremendous spaces and opportunities to inform your employees of events that are happening, milestones that are happening. Is there any security information that needs to be shared about the building or events that are going on? So that's certainly important. We also have displays that are utilized for education purposes. So we've got displays in our lunchroom, our training rooms. Those are all used for educational purposes, whether it be a training class or an HR class that needs to be held. And then entertainment. I mean, we have certainly displays in our building that are used for that big sporting event that might be happening during the lunch hour. So we might have that on in our lunchroom spaces, and our employees love that. So again, inform, educate, and entertain are all opportunities to use displays throughout the building.
Plenty of opportunity to use that real estate that we spoke about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Well, Kristin, I think this is all great information to share and some great takeaways for our listeners. Thank you for joining me today.
Sure, you bet. Really nice joining you, Nancy.
Great. Hope to see you again. And if you're looking for a more in-depth insights on today's topic, I'd like to point you again to the show notes where I have a link to our latest ebook that we did with Sharp NEC, focusing on creating more engagement through displays. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube so you can watch all of our podcasts. And if you prefer an audio stream, just search for The Collaboration Space on your favorite podcast app. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. And for more information, visit avispl.com/Sharp NEC Displays.